Oh shit! Check it out.
Hey, Tara. So,
Hey, how are you, brother? How you doing, my brother? Just long time no see.
hey, long time, not eh? Feels like
Eh?
knowing it a long time. It was before COVID, before lockdown.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
How's things?
yeah.
I'm gonna rock some volume for myself. Yeah.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where my camera is. Oh, it's there. Maybe it needs a wipe
Yeah.
or something. Oh,
Hey, Tara.
yeah, fine.
Siyakbona. Siyakbona,
Yeah.
you, Bob Marley. Who's the guy in the middle? Mick Jack. What's his name? The white guy there. Mick Jagger.
Can I tell you? Let me tell you the funny thing about this picture. Every
Yeah.
time black people will always say, "Who is the white guy?" And then white people will always say, "Woman, who are those guys who would like to get a picture with Mick Jagger?"
No, he's the lucky guy in that picture, Chef. Yeah, man. But otherwise, how are things? I mean, it's a up and down, but we are fighting. Grateful to be alive. Somewhat healthy.
Mm,
Um, sanity is still somewhat intact.
mm.
Um, yeah, man. There's just been a lot of stuff from a mental strain perspective, emotionally, and
No,
all that.
100%.
And on your
100%. I feel you 100%. You know,
yeah,
I was very lucky that I was able to get full-time employment
yeah,
and, just get out of the streets, man. Hey, man, because it was taking a real toll
I can
on me,
imagine. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
and I mean, you know how it is when you've got kids and when the ends are not meeting.
Hey, yeah, yeah, it's tough, but it's tough. Anyway,
Yeah.
before we start, I need to acknowledge what you see. This guy here, I don't know him, by the way. So a lot of people who meet me and I tell them my name is Mzuzukile, they insist it's Mzuvukile.
Oh, really?
No, Umzuzukile. So anyway, thanks Mzuvukile for loving the song. Yeah, man.
Which song is that that's playing?
So there's a song that I play at the beginning of the. So when you see the thumbnail, it
Okay.
plays at the beginning and I played at the end as well. So it's always the same. In a Leo vibe, like chilled, you know, quarter to Bob Marley vibes type thing, but you're just feeling yourself on a Thursday night.
Nice, man. I'm only wow, I can't believe I'm only noticing the Boondocks behind you now as well. Oh, can I
Sorry,
Is Riley one of them, no?
Riley. Hey, yeah, now you're gonna expose me. I mean, I bought the picture. I liked the painting. I was not a follower of the show. I've seen snippets, but I know one of them is Riley. I think I've heard the name.
Yeah, I think it's Riley in the Afro. I remember they
Yeah.
used to have a character called the pimp named Slickback. What's your name? My name is a pimp named Slickback. Anyway, cool. So you were about to say, yeah. I think I
Yeah.
interrupted you.
No, 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 no. It's cool. So I think anyway. Firstly, thank you for accepting my invitation. When we first started talking, this is family time. For married men, fathers, and that kind of stuff. So I don't take it for granted. I hope you'll enjoy the
Mm.
engagement as well as the people that are watching us tonight. The same applies to them. So, guys,
No,
Petro Spykos Delicious from ne?
Delicious. Kesana fana pool party. No, ke winter fana jacuzzi party and swim.
Yeah, man. So finally we get to chat. I think we've never really gotten to sit down and talk like, it's always been ka ka ka, hey, who's it? What do you do? All this funding and all that stuff. Um, so for me, it's also an opportunity to get to know you, to a certain extent.
Mhm.
So, if you may tell us about Tshepo, include the middle name, if ki Ignatius, just hold in the or Cedric or whatever it is. But who is Tshepo Mogale?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, so
that's a
who's
that's a
Tshepo?
that's a very Dali Tambo way of asking her. So tell us, who is Tshepo Mogale? I hope you got a pillow for me. No, so
Yeah, man.
my name is Tshepo Motswana Mogale. I was born in Durban, grew up in Bloemfontein and Cape Town. Went to school, Bloem. Primary school in Bloem, high school in Cape Town, uni in Cape Town, worked in Cape Town for quite a while. I moved to Joburg at 2000. Um, I was a full-time corporate guy there. Worked at a bank, a
Wow.
specialist bank for a couple of years,
Wow.
and halfway through that, I left all of that to go follow the world of show business. We
Mm,
had an opportunity to do the Pure Monati show at the time. Did that,
mm,
did the whole entrepreneurship TV thing, just did like so many things in that. It was from
wow.
2004.
Yeah.
Then I got back into full-time 9 to 5 employment 2022. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a father of two kids, traveled around the world. I think I've been to 30 countries or more.
Sure.
Uh, Proper rock and roller. I've got stories that will shock you. Yeah, in
Sure.
a nutshell. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. So it's very interesting. So which part of KZN were you? You said it called Devon or
Yeah, I was born in Durban. My dad, if you remember, in the 70s, there was only one a university where people of our color could for people of our color. So I don't know if it's on my side or your side. Did you? Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, so my dad studied at University of Natal back then, and then he did. So he worked at King Edward Hospital as a doctor there. So I was born there, and yeah,
Wow.
for the move from there to Bloem, he moved to go, to go to an untouched market basically. And yeah, that's how we ended up in Bloem. And then he's been there. We've been there ever since 1982 actually.
Since 82. Okay, that's cool.
Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
that's cool, man. Um, I don't know if it's. Can you see me or hear me? Okay, you're
No,
back
I
now.
can see you. I can see you. I actually realized if I don't want to answer a question, I can just be like,
That's convincing. Yeah, that's convincing. So, Koskele, in terms of your studies, your background, because you worked at a bank, was it along those lines, or what did you get into? Just
okay.
study wise.
So I did a
Yeah,
BCom. Yeah, I did a
yeah,
BCom at CT, and then yeah, and then from there, so I started working. Then I did like a little bit of IT stuff. So I worked for a media company called Metropolis. We had a website called iafrica.com, which was like the biggest site, second biggest site after News 24 in the late
yeah.
90s and 2000s. And we were doing like a lot of groundbreaking stuff. And like met up with some very stuff and taught me a lot. Um, and and then from there, can you hear me?
Just say something. You were breaking for a bit.
Yeah. And then from,
Maybe to anyone who's listening, can you just check if you can hear me?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then yeah, I can
Sorry,
definitely hear
man.
you.
Yeah.
And yeah, then
No,
I got poached. Okay.
sorry, carry on.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then from there, I moved to. There was an insurance company called Fetro, which is no longer around now. So I moved there, and then I had an opportunity to join it. I was in like one of the we were like some of the first black guys there for a couple
Yeah,
of years, and yeah, it was a wonderful experience.
yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
Wow. So, so you're a finance person, like in a, which is something I had an idea, but not to this extent that you're now explaining it. So from that, and the at the back of my mind, also based on personal experience and some of the engagements that I've had on this platform, where we tend to categorize people. Like a lot of us know you as Spykos Delicious, Tshepo the comedian, the actor, and all of that. And now they're like, oh, he's a banker, he's a finance person, and all of these things. And I'm sure there's a lot more, that you have touched on. Yeah? So, in your journey, at which point did you then, navigate towards entertainment and saying, I'm gifted in this thing, or maybe I realize when I do certain things, people
Mm.
just, or whatever, maybe if you can take us through this, and how you
Yeah.
ended up from Monati show and your
Okay.
career with.
So yeah. So Kagiso Lidira, who was the creator, a producer of literally one of my best friends in the world, and so we
Wow.
became friends with uni at the same time. Then we struck up a friendship then, and I remember I'd always been curious about doing stand up at that time, and that was the
Sure.
same time that he was a drama student. Um,
Oh.
He was like looking at exploring. We're exploring this new art form, so to say. So
Yeah.
we became close like that, and as well being that Nerula Cape Town, Botswana, le Basotho, there weren't that many of us, so we tended to
Oh,
congregate
yeah.
together, yeah. And then like Kagiso, I don't know if you've had him on this platform, but he's like an entrepreneur through and through,
Oh,
and
sure.
a lot just about just ambition, like
Yeah.
as a black young black guy back, you can't be too scared to dream big, and I mean he had these massive ideas of things that he was trying to do.
Sure.
And so I mean at that time I was working, so I had a 9 to 5 at the time. Then I remember it was even before flash discs. I'd take the stiffy discs and then like print and things for them at work after hours, things like that. And I remember he was conceptualizing the TV show, the Pure show. And I mean,
Wow.
if you were in Rondebosch, Cape Town, anytime in the late 90s, you would have just seen him sitting at the McDonald's. He used to use it as his office, just like with some papers coming up with things. And then from there, I remember when I moved to Joburg, I took the pack, what do you call it, the promotional pack, the pack on the Pure Monati show.
Yeah.
And my job was to go to the SABC and just go try to find somebody there and,
Yeah.
give it to this thing there.
Wow.
And I remember I started watching TV shows, I mean, we didn't know what commissioning edit. This is even before Google, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I managed to find somehow, I managed to find somebody who I
Yeah.
went, and then I handed the thing into. I remember I snuck out of work during my lunch to go do
Sure.
that. And this was in 2000, and the show got picked up maybe like 3 years later.
Yeah.
This the arms of the SABC move slow.
Mm.
And but even before that, so he moved up to Joburg and he stayed with me. This is at the time when I was working at the bank.
Yeah.
So I had a spare room. It was like a room and a half actually, and he
Yeah.
would stay here between here and Cape Town. Then we'd do shows at night, Carnival City, just trying to do
Wow.
the stand up thing. And I remember this thing was new. I mean, the amount of times we got booed,
Yeah. Yeah.
just thrown at us, but we believed that we could do some, that there was something here.
Yeah.
And then I remember I'd always said to myself that if I can make the same amount of money that I'm making it for a couple of months consistently, then
So
I'll
true.
start doing this thing. And I remember we used to go out a lot, and the guy was doing Fat Joe show at the time. And then so we used to go out a lot
Yeah.
during the week. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
was like a producer or a writer there, and then actually he was a writer there, and he was doing the spy thing. I don't know, he took it from Leo doing the sports guy, and
I
then that's when he
remember. Yeah.
started implementing some of his ideas onto there,
Yeah.
having more comedic stuff. I remember the first sketch I did was a character called Alphonse, my best super lover man. I had this massive afro and this silk jumpsuit with chest and hairs, and I had written a book called The Joys of Shagging. And yeah, so we did that. And I mean, like, that time in the early 2000s, there was a very organic space in terms of
Yeah.
just cultural things that were happening. We were doing
Sure.
the comedy thing at the time. It was a few years after that had the album called the Motherload, which
I
brought
remember.
was coming into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Squatter Camp was big at the time, or
I'm
just
not.
about it was just
Yeah.
about to come out.
Yeah.
The guy that I always remember was 340 Mo when
Yeah.
Baseline used to be Melville, and there were these guys nobody had ever heard of, and they were just playing like just beautiful, amazing music. at baseline in Melbourne. And then Brahu would show up, Miriam Makeba would show up. It was just like such a TK doing that thing, and then that's when they were, going crazy. I remember Kabel was beating people up with the baseball bats. Those men was just an organic time, and just so much, such a good time just to be around, Uh, fashion guys. There was a guy called Craig Native. I don't know if you remember him. But my Craig
I follow him
Native.
on Insta. He follows me back.
Oh,
Like
really?
I had a DM chat. Yeah. He's in some European country now. I forgot, but like both Netherlands or
What
something.
is it?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. So I mean, man, it was a beautiful time, and I remember I'd written there's some literature that I'd written as well, which got published like in Sweden and things like that. And then I was doing a lot of interviews. What was it? Morning show, yeah, Vuyombuli. So I'd do that. There was one morning live. Yeah, there was Toasty show. Then I remember I'd rock up at Toasty show wearing a tie, rocking up with some by cash and with
wow.
TKZ, and go from there, go to work, and then guys will be like, "Yo, man, didn't I just see you on TV doing?" Um, and it just, I mean, I remember, oh man, I'd sneak out of work to go do because we used to be with Drum Magazine used to be in Sandton. I'd go there, do photo shoots there. Then magazine, all those things. Double timing, and this is all before your Instagrams and things like that. And the way you build a profile for yourself, then we do quarantine, your shwashwis and things like that. And then like my profile started growing, but not like mainstream, like where like a lot of people around town knew who I was. Then I'd leave to go to work, and I'd leave these guys passed out in my living room, from Monate. Your versions of Slave Queens of back in the day, laying on my couch. Imagine kids funding, then I'd come back for lunch. These guys are prying at my house, swimming pool, back to work, and then then eventually, it just got out of it, and then we got the TV show a few months, 2-3 months later, and then it took on from there.
Nice.
So, yeah, man, it was like a crazy, but a lot of fun,
Yeah.
a lot.
That sounds like the kind of stuff that needs to be documented somewhat. I'm visualizing this, everything that you're sharing, and
Yeah, man.
that level or beyond.
Yeah, there's a very good friend of mine, Unzinga. She does,
New,
um, she does news now. Actually, I remember at the same time she was on every single bus stop. She had a Ghanaian campaign, and so we all grew up together. And literally every time I see her, she always says, "Tshepo, when are you writing the book?" I'll type it because I mean, just that. I mean, I can just tell you crazy stories about every phase of life. The comedy thing, the kwaito thing. Just like insane stories with Womandoza, Bumapaputsi, and things like that. Traveling around the world to now, to just dealing with BE guys. Just crazy things you see. Yeah.
Wow. Excuse me. So I think she's quite right, and maybe not just a book. I mean, thank you. It has been someone to pick up a class here.
Oh, cheers. I took a liberty
Well,
off.
last week Thursday, I was interviewing a lady that co-owns a wine brand. Yeah, when I saw
Okay.
that during the interview. So this guy every show man you crazy. Wine every Thursday. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Give me once. I just need to open.
yeah, don't worry. I think to or something, and then we'll freeze.
My dog.
It's okay. I mean, but it's okay. Can you guys hear me? I think Tshepo is getting some opening something.
Sorry, man. I apologize for that.
I
If
know.
it's not kids, it's dogs and things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you're saying you're interviewing a lady last week. Why do you
yeah.
wine?
They sent me a bottle to, to explore during the interview. So so
Ah,
I drink it slowly because I could feel it's red wine, so I could feel my ears getting hot. Yeah, ngizolahla, then I'll start saying stuff I mustn't be saying, phambi kwabantu. So no, man, this is great. No, I mean to Zinga's point, I
mm,
agree with you, but also I know it's quite a I don't know, it's maybe somewhat limiting, when you only say write a book, I mean, I'm imagining something more visual than that, and it's just not the only thing, because these are the
mm,
types of, I believe, can benefit a lot of people, but not only that. I think there's a lot of stuff that never gets archived. So it's
mm,
especially in the entertainment slash creative space. And it's
mm,
everyone made it from scratch. There's no,
mm,
I don't know what to call it, but like some kind of a portal or something where someone can be like, I'm looking for so and so's work. Where can I find it? Type thing. Do you understand?
mm,
Yeah, but
mm.
what I is that I don't want to tell my kids tomorrow and say, "Hey, this guy." I was talking to this guy who does 1, 2, 3 goes down, man. Show us, show us these things. No,
Mm,
it's great. I think it's also content for. It's kind of like you're talking to your unborn, unconceived great grandchildren. If the human race would be around for that long, we don't
yeah.
we don't know. But Ndota, tell me something, right? So you did you start getting into this space when you got to tertiary, or is it something that maybe you've explored or somewhat observed?
Yeah,
Maybe
which space? The
yeah, yeah,
comedy entertainment type of thing.
yes.
Um, I would say yes. If even after tertiary,
Yeah,
I've just always been the guy who has just got funny stories, and like the guy to be around at the braai, and we just have a great laugh,
yeah,
and yeah, and then I just got the bug. I was like, hey man, I want to try this out,
sure,
and opportunity showed itself. There were
sure,
some guys in Cape Town. They had what they called a Cape Comedy Collective, which was a bunch. There was a British couple, a guy called Mark Sampson and his wife Sam, who took guys who they told us about comedy and taught us how to do that. And they don't get the credit that they deserve, because so many guys that went on to become big,
yeah,
when were nurtured by them, Maria, myself, Kagiso,
yeah,
Loiso,
yeah,
yo, just
yeah,
more guys, and yeah, the opportunity
yeah,
came. We were there right time, and yeah,
sure,
and it took off, man. And what a blessing. Every time I go out, people always say to me, "Man, thank you for the memories." This,
yeah,
that,
one,
always say, it's a thing that you do it with your friends. You know what I mean? It really is a great thing. You know. And then guys will come and say, "Yeah, I used to watch you when I was at school. These guys, Bangkok block, but some Levana, but this guy get man." I was in primary school when I was watching this guy.
Wow. Wow, man. That's
And then the
really,
nice
really,
thing about it,
yeah.
yeah, I was telling, you know, because a lot of people who watched our show, it was young black males, and some of those guys have gone on, to do great things in their careers. Some have gone on to become thieves, some have gone on to become a police or whatever. And I've
So,
always said it will be difficult for me to get arrested or to get robbed because a lot of the times somebody arresting or robbing you will be a fan of yours or would like your work. Before ngikubambe inkunzi. You know. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No,
Mm.
I remember that time very well. Some of the people you mentioned, like 340 mil,
Mm.
we stayed at the same res, Eva City.
Oh,
Paulo,
at,
Konoken.
oh, okay. Oh,
Sorry,
Shibanga.
Chivanga was my next door neighbor. Pedro was same floor, different aisle or wing.
Okay.
Tiago was different building altogether, not in the same block, but same res nonetheless.
Okay. Was this school Vits or Rao?
This is the rest was called Nokendo. It's
Oh,
under
okay.
Vet.
And
Yeah.
Ed?
No, Kiri is
Govits.
under Vet University now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I was not a student at Vet. I was studying elsewhere. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
at, yeah.
You were socially there, but academically elsewhere.
So, yeah, but no, I remember that time very well. So yeah, but like I said, I think this is, and maybe things like these, these types of conversations, because the funny thing is that you did all of that outside of the social media, and now there's social media. There's like information at the finger within reach, no? But
Mm.
still, by and large, they don't have the knowledge. They don't get the information. They don't sign the right types of contracts.
Mm.
They make all the bad moves when you and other industry captains have laid the blueprint basically with my blueprint. Yes, I've made mistakes, but here's the blueprint. With what you have in terms of tech now, you can double, triple, or whatever that you want to do with what's within your reach. So I'm very keen to find out, Tuguti. So the space where you currently, or maybe if I go there, are there any plans maybe in the near future, or is there something that you're currently doing now within the same space? It's a comedy.
I'm completely out.
Dopamine, yeah,
Yeah, completely. Show business completely out. I did 20 years, man. It's a long time, we started '99. In 2019, I was like, no, I'm done.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm done. And I felt talking about being on stage that my perspective just on things was just I don't know, man. It was just different, And then like some of these young guys were coming, just talking about things that I had no idea what they were talking about,
mm,
and when you just see the crowd is elsewhere, and I'm completely at a different place,
yeah,
sometimes you gotta know when to step off. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
it can have that this guy was foster vibe,
Sure, sure.
and I think another thing was because I had the luxury of various options. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it wasn't something that in so. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I mean I think even that time I had a food business that I was doing like in markets and things like that.
Okay.
And I just got so consumed in that. I think from 2015, and
Sure.
it was an amazing, like a great ride as well, and it just
Yeah, yeah,
off there as well. And it was, yeah, it was, thank God one had a
yeah.
backup, not a backup plan, but something they could fall back onto. You know what your parents always say.
Yes,
Mm,
yes. No,
mm.
that's true. And so now the space that you operate in, which which has a lot to do with funding. I think when I created the announcement post for tonight's conversation, I said something along the lines of he's now swimming in the money,
Look, I'm assuming in
you
the
know.
money, but it's not mine.
Okay.
There's nothing
Yeah,
crazier than turning some application down for funding because they're not looking for enough money, but you don't have a cent in your pocket. You know?
yeah,
uh,
that's true.
yeah, but yeah, we're helping. We help SMEs. We
Yeah,
fund SMEs who, very much like the People's Fund, but we do like we focused on the bigger transactions.
okay.
Guys that have got contracts, tenders, whatever, and they need funding for that. I'm the guy to talk to. Can really help you scale it up and take it to the next level. And the way we want to do it is to keep
Yeah,
helping you until you get to a point where you can stand on yourself by yourself, where you don't need us anymore.
that's
In
cool,
a
man.
in a, in yeah, in a nutshell. In a nutshell. And it's a
Nice.
great experience. I've gotten to learn so much. It's so great just to be involved in some of the projects that we've been involved in. I mean, there's we funded some guys now recently who put solar installations, lights, plugs, and things like that in rural, like thousands of rural homes. Uh,
Sure.
Simple things like dustbins in community you look like for, when you see it afterwards, uh, lots of generators, hey man, just different things, man. And it's so
Yeah.
great to see it at the end and you see how it changes, a community, uh, bulletproof vests, how you can, things like, yeah, all sorts of things, man. Yeah,
Wow.
it's yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So for
Mm.
me, to get some funding from you guys, what kind of criteria do you look at? From what you've listed, it sounds like it's not necessarily only government related tenders.
Look, we could do blue chip public sector contracts, but it's just a lot of a lot of work. I wouldn't say mastered, but we understand, how the public sector ones work. I mean, you would know. You were like quite
Yeah.
involved with People's Fund. You would know. How does securitize it and everything like that. So the blue chip, the private sector ones are a little bit more difficult, and because we're not doing, you know, it's very rare. It's not often, you're doing those, a 60 million rand where you're gonna make, 6 million profit over it. So
Sure.
we're a volume. We do volume. So
Yeah.
I just don't have time to spend, 2 weeks going back and
One,
people.
two, one, two.
So I understand it very well. Where to look. I know exactly how to securitize it because I'm trying to get through volumes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, the audio has caught
So
up
yeah.
now.
Oh, okay, awesome. Because I was looking like a Chinese movie when you're
Chinese
talking.
movie for That's cool. So I'm gonna share I've got your website here, or your link rather.
Oh, awesome,
Uh,
man.
how do I get, other than maybe via, the applying via your website, or what? Is it the best way for me to go there?
Yeah, best
Look
way
for.
you can rock me an rock me email info profithub.co.za. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Don't mind if I take a picture of that, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So that they awesome. Yeah, websites, it's got all the information you'll need. You can just, you can even put my name, say to Tshepo, the email will come directly to me. And
yeah,
I've got a lot of, yeah, I've got a lot of patience, and to help people and try to guide people in the right way. Although
yeah.
you get sometimes people can become a little bit rude,
Mm,
but it is what it is.
yeah. So tell me
Mm.
something. In terms of products that you guys have, is it only POs, or what else do you look at?
Okay, so we've got PO funding,
Yeah.
we've got invoice discounting, which we've just started now recently. We've got asset-backed bridging finance. This is where, if you need 5 million, you've got a property that you can put up as collateral. We've got that as well. And look, I
Yeah.
mean, we're a small team. There's 12 of us. All doing various things, wearing various hats, and and the business is growing. I mean, I joined the company 8 months ago. Yeah, 8 months ago, and since I've been there, I think there've been like maybe like five or six new hirings, in that, and so I mean we're growing, and it's we work. It's I mean, you would know it's a lot of work, man. Especially like doing sales, and
Yeah.
I do the operations as well, and I do
Yeah.
like the securities as well. So and sometimes I'll do deliveries. I mean, I drove to Venda to go drive a tractor a few weeks ago. I'm driving to another part of the country to go drop off drainage systems to
Wow.
some, yeah. It's fine, the boss. It's
But
I love, and the pressure. Yeah, pressure, man. Yeah, I mean, bro, the pressure can be heavy, man. Especially
sure.
if you've got if there's money out there in the water and you're in charge of it, and
Yes.
should something go wrong, it falls on your head. Yeah,
Yes.
it can keep you up at night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and in terms of AMA parameters, do you look at minimum funding, key X amount, maximum?
Yeah. So the
Yep.
minimum on the PO funding is if you need funding of 250.
Mm-hmm.
We
250.
have not reached 250,000.
Yeah.
We haven't reached the maximum yet. My sweet spot is between 2 and 15 million. That's where I'd like to be playing, and yeah, and we haven't reached the maximum yet. The biggest one we've done, we did I think 84 and 80, like on one PO 84 million, and then we've got, yeah, and we just did, yeah, we just funded a guy 25 27 bar today actually.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
And what's
Life,
nice,
life.
look, I mean, I beg your pardon.
No, I'm saying that's life changing stuff.
Hey man, and you see guys come in, looking one way, and at the end, when
Yeah.
we've done the transaction, you see them, looking a certain way, you know.
Hey.
And then in my head, I always ask myself, I'm like, man, will I see this guy again? Will he come back? And what
Yeah.
I've noticed
One, two, one,
and
two.
guys, like a lot of the times. but the women, a lot of the women, are able to manage things, properly, and they're able to scale up pretty
Wow.
quickly. Yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, interesting just to see patterns, patterns of behavior before the
Hmm.
money and after the money, and you get
Sure.
some guys who just, yeah, yeah, it's great, man, to be in that position to change people's lives and to change
Sure.
uh, communities, outcomes of communities. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's such a privilege, man.
Sure.
It
Sure.
really is, and I'm so honored to be, in that position. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
am.
It is. So it's interesting you mentioned that because it's not the first time I'm hearing that women-owned businesses they tend to perform better. Also from an admin perspective, in terms of if you guys have certain things that they must do in between receiving the
Um,
money and paying the money back.
yeah,
But
yeah, but you know what? Not not because I had one, yeah, not so long
did she mess it up? Sorry.
ago, and yeah, I remember thinking to myself, like, how has this person gotten this far in life? I just couldn't understand. I just couldn't understand it.
Sorry, sorry, funny. So I'm just gonna um what do you call show you some comments. So thank you for the comment. Your interviews are very informative. So she was just getting excited when I said the women are doing a greater job. So nice to hear that us Mbogotos are managing businesses better. So you say there's one Mbogoto who oye wadlisa team ufrizile uThemba or is he udlala stage 1 2 1 2.
I, but people are different, man, and yeah, people are different, and
Yeah,
and I mean, I've come across. Oh man, what we're talking about in Bogotos, I've got a cousin of mine who is probably like one of the most amazing people. Thank you, Facebook. Get my Facebook user. It's been a minute. I just joined. Sure.
we'll see the name on so on the actual platform they used.
Oh, okay.
Why it says
Yeah.
Facebook, they didn't register their name on the link.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. No, it's all good, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, my brother. Yeah. So yeah, man. Amazing, amazing woman. Uh, from a chemical engineer.
mm, one two one two.
Amazing and to have meets just incredible women, but scientists and
Yeah,
like like black women. You know what I'm saying? Just
yeah,
doing
for
like
sure.
amazing things, and then I like a lot of the times the white guys are like, wow, man,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that there's people like this out there, you know. So yeah, it's great.
So that's great, man. Tamsin from East London,
Mm.
Askis. But thanks for joining us, notwithstanding load shedding.
Hey, load shedding. Man.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at that. Actually, RH load shedding. ELNEL. EL
Hey,
in
so
EL.
I was more case. I mean, I think today I was lucky because my schedule was 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. So I'm good for the day. But anyway,
Yeah. I didn't even know that the thing is still happening.
hey,
I'm lucky that my neighbor actually behind here, he's got
yeah,
UPS
oh
on his
yeah,
Wi-Fi. You can switch off. You can,
1 2 1 2.
and I live next to quite a big building which has got a lot of lights as well. So
Oh, that's
yeah, so I
great.
mean it's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like yeah,
yeah.
I've
So we
got one of
don't. I mean, obviously we feel it, but not so much.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Basenza survivors.
And actually, you know, we can speak of schedules. I was planning on going back to the gym today. Actually,
Hey,
uh,
you're literally jealous.
and you have to be in town. I was on my way to the gym. Then she's like, man, let's do dinner,
Yeah,
whatever. Then we hung out. And then I was like, okay, cool. I went to gym yesterday. Then I thought, okay, I'm gonna do it today.
yeah.
And then
Most of you
yeah,
be punching in your cat.
and tomorrow on my
You know when you get to the punchline, that's where it started cutting.
uh, tell me, man, which part of town are you in, Mzuzukile?
Yeah. Gise Ipakmo.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
So around the corner.
Pakmo. When are which side? I think
I mean,
my has been to your house, but we'll talk about that offline.
wait, say that again. You think?
I think my boys have been to your place for a birthday party before
Yeah.
lockdown. Not yeah, the story list. One,
I used to
two,
have
one, two.
I used to have a party house in
Sorry.
around here in Parktown North. Can I used to have a party house, man? Hey, there's boy lapo. And I've
No,
met so many people who be like, man, I was at your house and I wouldn't even
no.
remember.
I'm talking about my sons, not boys in my friends.
It's a party house. Wait, how old
I
is your
think
son?
I've got two boys. My oldest boy is 6. The youngest is 5. I got
Oh, okay,
twins.
so they came to me with my daughter's birthday party.
Yeah, yeah. I think they might have come with. Actually, I didn't mention Amakama about on air. But I think
Yeah.
someone that we both know. They were with them that weekend. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. When we had the jumping castle and everything.
I mean, I don't know. I was not there. I was just told we were at
Yeah,
daughter's party.
yeah. Look, it was a party house. Whether jumping castles for the kids or
Yeah,
other things for the adults.
yeah, yeah, man. Sure, sure. So,
Mm.
no, thanks for sharing that info, Dr. Ye, about the Profit Hub opportunities. Is it freezing? Nothing in the indoor. I don't have grown-up people to
Yeah.
refill my glass
Mm.
here. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
hey,
I was
Mnand, you got people who refill, eh?
no, I don't have a grown-up person in the house to say, "Hey, awugcwaliseli urefile lapho." Only
Oh,
have a little
are
person.
you with the kids as well?
Just my 6-year-old.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've
Yeah,
got my 7-year-old and my 14-year-old daughter. But
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so you know, with the Wi-Fi's, you don't see them. You only see them out in your Wi-Fi. What's a Puma? Be like, what's going on?
That's how it works, though. Eh? That's how it works.
Um,
I think this is great. I think back to my point of documenting these. It would be great to have some of these types of conversations. There's a I don't know whether to call it a campaign or what that I saw Slicker doing for I forgot which brand. It's an alcohol brand, but it's like partially around a table,
oh,
and
I
they
saw
have
the clip drift or something.
yeah, yeah. I haven't really
Oh, we're not.
listened to what you're talking about, but I like the setup. Where people
Yeah,
we are capturing these conversations, and hopefully people are makuluma openly, like it's
yeah,
raw. It's like censorship,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, speaking of Slicker, we partied. We found ourselves in Atlanta and in New York. together at
Oh,
some time. Yeah,
wow.
and I kidnapped him and I showed him some other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monate Hure.
Yeah.
But I actually haven't seen him since that time, which was years ago.
Yeah.
But it would be great. It's a lot like you've seen the podcast Drinks Champs, where they'll have
Oh,
guys sitting, yeah,
Nori.
yeah,
Yeah.
Noriega, yeah,
Nori.
and then
Yeah.
the drunker guys get the modify lead,
Exactly. And
and
you can see
then
the, like, the eyes are starting to get droopy and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
this you file, yeah. Oh man, but
Yeah.
we must
That's
do
so.
something like that, man. My friend Cariso keeps saying, man, you must do a podcast as well because you've got
Oh,
like the craziest stories and with like the crazy, like
yeah.
just the craziest people, you could.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it, man.
I think
So
let's
good,
talk
man.
offline. We can
Yeah,
put something
yeah,
together quite
yeah,
almost easy. Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
But let's
No,
connect.
awesome.
Tell me where you are based before we call it a night.
Say that again.
No, I'm saying you didn't tell me where you are based before we call it a night.
Okay, my office is in Centurion, but I stay in the Rosebank area. I'm in Melrose. So yeah,
Oh, okay, no,
around.
okay, okay.
Yeah, this I call it North Central Johannesburg. I mean, I've been in this area for 20 years, man. I've never lived further north, Grayston Drive, and the
Yeah,
further south is Riviera
yeah,
and Jan Smuts
yeah.
and M1, just that area for 20 years. So I know every single back corner. I know everything, everybody around here.
Hey, yeah, you're sitting on a on treasure there that we need to bring out and bring to the fore about to buy one and then we to get to hear and see these stories. But we talk
No,
offline.
100%, man.
Yeah,
No, let's do that. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, man. It really was a
oh,
pleasure.
yeah,
And thank you for everybody who did tune in.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess we're just just talking openly. There's whatever nuggets you take
yeah.
from there. I'm easy to find on Facebook, inbox me at Comical Tshepo on Twitter. What's the other one? Instagram.
Yeah.
What? I'm always getting yeah, no, I'm here.
Yeah.
No, okay, there's always get my cheat about DM, man. It's never was sister, you know. But yeah, holla at a
I was
holla at
telling
a brother,
someone,
man.
yeah,
No, okay, my miss, you say you were telling somebody?
yeah, because someone was accusing me with my DMs must be very spicy and stuff. So I was like, nah, it's only people who say please approve my post on the BrownSense group on Facebook. It's never about hey you or anything like that. It's like
Hey,
please
you.
approve my post. Pending. So it's not as wild and crazy as some people might imagine.
Yeah, man. I was telling somebody that in my almost 20 years of fame or me, pop culture or whatever, um, I think I've only been recognized by women like not more than 10 times. Most of the time,
Wow.
my cheater. Say hello.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't see you. This is my little one. Say hello.
Hello.
Okay.
How are you?
That's your charger for the
Wait, I'm busy now. I'm almost finishing. Just go look in the plastic in the top of the microwave.
Top of the microwave. Umthumile ikhimora umntwana. It's not inside. It's on top.
That is on top. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm Mzuzukile, man. Thank you so much, man. I really am appreciative of taking time. Maya,
yeah,
I'm finishing now. I'm coming.
yeah.
Shh. I'm finishing now. I'm coming. Here, use my phone. Yeah. You,
1 2 1 2. It's time to lala.
platform.
And slowly punny. I think it's bad this time. 1 2. I think we're gonna call it a night. Let's see if he's gonna get back in about 10 seconds. Okay, it's bad. Okay, guys. I think we were already. Well, not. I think we were already wrapping things up. For this evening's show. Not show. This is not a show. It's a conversation. Anyway, the plan, as you might have picked up from some of my other live streams, is to one day have some of these taking place as a live, as in face-to-face engagement. But other than that, thank you for joining us once again. It's been fun. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your weekend. Please keep warm and keep safe. Adios. Bye bye. Dot sense. Yeah, Cheers, guys.